Bitcraft has been a game I've had my eyes on for a while. It's a community building crafting game, and while you very much can have a solo homestead in the middle of nowhere, it's really at its best when you're working with others, either directly in a town or city you built together, or indirectly by trading with others. It's grindy, but relaxed, and is a lovely break from the more competitive games. Best of all, it's going to be free to play, eventually. It's going into early access on the 20th of June, as they test out the long-term mechanics and balance and add more features. But in order to avoid the floodgates opening with players expecting a full game, because early access seems to have lost its meaning lately, it's going to cost $30. That said, next Thursday on the 29th of May, they are hosting a free weekend for anyone to join and try out what they have in place already. I took part in a stress test a few weeks back, just a little 4-hour scavenger hunt, and it was a wonderful peaceful break after work. The music, the visuals, and just the conversations of the global chat made those 4 hours pass really quickly. Now you know when you can play it, I will go over what you can do in the game. As I said, it's a community building game, a crafting MMO, where you will raise your skills such as carpentry, farming, fishing, and so on. Leveling up unlocks the ability to use higher powered tools and gain higher tiered resources. Every profession feeds into others, and there's no restriction on what you can level up. Your tools are even sorted into their own menu, so you don't have to carry them in your inventory or hotbar, so there's no penalty to trying a little of everything. Players can complete quests for NPCs to earn new recipes and outfits, though the goals are more player made. Most will start at the ruined settlements and grow from there. The world itself is very, very large and can be expanded, and fully connected with different biomes and resources. You won't be selecting a server on login, as all the servers are linked to each other, and you can walk, ride or teleport to any of them with enough effort. When it comes to the community aspect, Bitcraft has some wonderful features. Players can have their own claimed areas, which cost game resources to maintain. However, their workstations, where all the crafting is done, are free for anyone to use. Every player has their own workstation instance, so there'll be no stealing of resources. Even if you drop resources on the ground, they actually belong to you for a short period of time to avoid any snatch and grabs. The experience gained when using the workstation actually translates to in-game currency for the claim owner. This can be spent to improve the claim for any who use it. This simple mechanic encourages people to work together without forcing them. It even opens the door for a travelling lifestyle, as every claim is a welcoming stop. Your carts and other vehicles belong exclusively to you, and you can call on them whenever you need to move or get a bit more storage. But some of the more advanced claims will have houses to rent. Best of all, your house interiors will always be yours, so if you decide to pack up and move on, you won't lose anything, just the location of your door until you find a new house. This, coupled with the vastly different resources found in each biome, really encourages trade and travel, with players constructing roads across the map to guide and help facilitate it. Now, it's not always safe travels, there are hostile creatures to deal with. Don't worry, no deaths, just debuffs, and you will need to use light to keep your claims safe. But you won't have to worry about hostile players, as PvP is purely opt-in. They even plan on having a dueling mechanic so that players can host their own PvP tournaments. There is one extra layer to the game which some players do get a bit confused, and that's the Empire system. It's a paid feature, but not something that actually affects regular gameplay. The devs have called it in-game LARPing. You basically pretend to rule over an area, and it lets players paint the map in their colours. Any player is free to pledge their allegiance to any empire, regardless of if you're under their influence or not. And no, it doesn't give away any control over your area. They can't dictate what you're doing. There is some opt-in siege mechanics that empires can have fun with against each other, but you can read up more about that and other features over on the website, as I'm sure you don't want to spend too long listening to me. One last thing to note is at the end of the free weekend, all progress will be wiped, and throughout early access there may well be other wipes too. The last wipe will be before the finally launches full and free to play, so don't feel like you have to pay in order to get early access and have any sort of standing in the game. You can just wait a few years. Just make sure to wishlist it over on Steam. I do plan on making little guides for the game, so hopefully if you decide to join this year or several years into the future, you won't feel overwhelmed with everything you need to do, and I can guide you through it. See you soon!